Some women endure because they believe loyalty will be rewarded. Others endure because they've been taught that leaving means failing. But there comes a moment when the cost of staying becomes louder than the fear of walking away. If you're building something real in silence while others take credit in public, may you find the clarity to see what you've earned and the strength to claim it. Hit that like button, subscribe, and drop a comment telling me where you're watching from. Now let me tell you about a woman who gave everything to a family that saw her as nothing, until the man she married came home wearing rags, and she had to choose between the life she built and the love she buried. The coat doesn't fit him anymore. She notices it first, the way the sleeves stop too high on his wrists, the shoulders pulling tight across his back as he shifts the duffel bag higher. He's standing just inside the entrance of the estate, boots caked with something dark that isn't quite mud, and his hair is longer than she's ever seen it. Uncut. Unwashed, maybe. Her hand freezes on the banister. He doesn't look up, just sets the bag down on marble that cost more than most people's cars and rolls his shoulders like he's trying to shake off a weight that won't leave. Behind her, a door clicks open. Is someone here? The voice is sharp, territorial. His mother. Always his mother first. She doesn't answer. Can't. Because he's still standing there, and the coat is wrong, and his boots are leaving prints on the floor that someone will have to clean, and she can't make sense of the shape of him in this space anymore. His mother's heels sound on the hallway tile, fast, irritated. I asked if... She stops. The silence is immediate, total. He lifts his head then, slowly, and his face is thinner than it was, older in a way that 6 months shouldn't account for, but his eyes haven't changed. They find her first, hold for a breath, then slide past to the woman behind her. "Hi, Mom." His mother doesn't move, doesn't speak, just stares at him like he's a stranger who wandered in off the street. "What?" The word comes out thin, disbelieving. "What are you wearing?" He glances down at himself. The coat. The boots. Jeans that are worn through at one knee. Then he shrugs, and the motion is so familiar it makes her chest tighten. Clothes. Don't be smart with me. His mother steps forward and her voice gains edges. "Where have you been? Why didn't you call? And why do you look like what?" The question is quiet. Too quiet. His mother's mouth thins. "Like you've been sleeping on the street." He picks up the duffel bag. "I have been." The air seems to contract. She grips the banister harder, nails pressing into polished wood, and watches his mother's face go through a series of small convulsions. Shock, disgust, denial. That's not funny. It's not a joke. "Then you've lost your mind." His mother's voice climbs. "Is this some kind of breakdown? Did something happen to you? Where's your phone? Your wallet? You're gone." "Gone? What do you mean gone?" He shifts the bag again. Doesn't answer. His mother turns sharply, and her eyes land on her, on the woman still frozen halfway down the stairs, like this is somehow her fault. "Did you know about this?" She shakes her head. "Can't manage words yet." "Of course you didn't." His mother's tone turns acidic. "You never know anything, do you?" He moves then. One step forward, deliberate. "Don't." His mother's mouth snaps shut. The silence stretches again, thinner this time, and she feels it pulling at something in her chest, something that's been stretched too thin for too long already. His father's voice cuts through from the study doorway. "What's all this noise about?" He appears in the hallway, tall, silver-haired, still in the suit he wore to the office. His eyes sweep the scene. His wife rigid with fury, his son standing in work boots and a coat 2 sizes too small, and her caught between them on the stairs. His expression doesn't change. Not even a flicker. "You're back." "I'm back." "You look terrible." "I know." His father's gaze drops to the duffel bag. The boots, the coat. Is this some kind of statement? "It's what I have." That's not an answer. He sets the bag down again. "It's the only one I've got right now." His father studies him for a long moment, the kind of assessment she's seen him use on failing investments, on employees about to be let go. Then he turns and walks back into the study. "Clean yourself up. We'll talk after dinner." The door closes behind him with a soft, final click. His mother makes a small, strangled sound. "I cannot believe this. 6 months. 6 months of silence, and you come back looking like I've been working," he finishes. "Because I have been. Working." She spits the word. "You don't work. You've never had to work. This family. I know what this family does." His voice stays level, flat. "I've spent 6 months learning what everyone else does." She watches his mother's face flush darker, watches her hands ball into fists at her sides, and she knows what's coming before the words form. "Then you've wasted 6 months being ridiculous." His mother's voice drops lower, colder. "But you're home now, and this experiment is over. You'll go upstairs, shower, put on proper clothes, and tomorrow you'll go back to the office where you belong." He doesn't respond. His mother's eyes narrow. "Did you hear me?" "I heard you." "Then, I'm not going back to the office." The words land like stones in still water. His mother goes very still. "Excuse me?" "Not yet." Not until what? Until you've made your point? Until you've embarrassed this family enough?" Her voice is rising again, sharp enough to cut. "You are the heir to this company. You have responsibilities, obligations. You can't just, I can." He picks up the duffel bag for the 3rd time. "And I did." He turns toward the stairs, toward her. She can't move, can't breathe, because he's walking forward now, and she's still standing there, and in another 3 steps he'll be close enough to touch, and she doesn't know what that will do to the careful distance she's built inside herself over the past 6 months. He stops 2 steps below her. Up close, she can see the details his mother missed, the calluses on his hands, the new scar along his jaw, the way his eyes are different. Not just tired, but changed in some fundamental way that has nothing to do with lack of sleep. "Hi," he says quietly. Her throat closes up. His mouth shifts. Not quite a smile, but something adjacent. "You okay?" She nods, lies. He studies her face for another moment, and she wonders what he sees there. What 6 months of living in this house without him has written across her features. Then he moves past her up the stairs, and she catches the smell of him, sweat and sawdust and something else, something honest that doesn't belong in this house of marble and crystal. His mother's voice follows him up. "This isn't over. You can't just walk away from this conversation." He doesn't turn, doesn't slow, just keeps climbing until he disappears into the east wing, and then there's only the sound of his boots on the stairs, fading. His mother rounds on her. "Well, don't just stand there. Go talk to him. You're his wife, aren't you?" The title sits wrong in her mouth, has sat wrong for months. "He doesn't want to talk right now," she manages. "I don't care what he wants. He's clearly having some kind of episode and someone needs to. He's fine." The words come out harder than she intends, and his mother's eyes go sharp. "Fine?" He shows up dressed like a vagrant after 6 months of no contact, tells us he's been living on the street and refuses to explain himself, and you think he's fine? She doesn't have an answer for that. Or maybe she does, but it's not one his mother would accept. She starts up the stairs instead. Where are you going? To our room. You need to make him see reason. Make him understand that this performance is. She keeps walking. His mother's voice fades behind her, replaced by the sound of her own heartbeat, too loud in her ears. The East Wing is quiet, always quiet. Their rooms are at the end, separate bedrooms connected by a shared bathroom and a sitting area that neither of them uses. His door is closed. She stands outside it for a long time, hand raised, knuckles inches from the wood. Inside, she can hear water running. The shower. She lowers her hand, goes to her own room instead, sits on the edge of the bed and stares at the wall that separates them. The dinner is excruciating. She knows it will be before she even walks into the dining room. His mother's face tells her everything. Tight-lipped, furious, the kind of anger that's been simmering for hours and is ready to boil over at the slightest provocation. His father sits at the head of the table, reading something on his tablet. Doesn't look up when she enters. His sister is already seated. Youngest child, only daughter. Sharp-eyed and sharper-tongued. She glances up, sees her, and goes back to her phone without acknowledgement. She takes her usual seat, 4 chairs down from the head, directly across from where he'll sit when he arrives. If he arrives. The staff brings out the first course. No one speaks. The silence is the kind that has weight to it, that presses down on the table like a physical thing. His mother clears her throat. Has anyone checked on him? His sister doesn't look up. Why would I? Because your brother is clearly unwell. He looked fine to me. He looked homeless. His sister's mouth twitches. Almost a smile. Maybe that was the point. His mother's fork hits her plate with a sharp clink. This is not funny, Jade. I didn't say it was. His sister, Jade, finally looks up. I just think maybe you're more upset about how it looks than why he did it. What's that supposed to mean? It means exactly what I said. His father finally speaks. That's enough. Both women go quiet. The silence returns, heavier now. She pushes food around her plate. Nothing touches her lips. Her stomach is a closed fist. Footsteps in the hallway. Everyone stops, looks toward the door. He enters wearing clean clothes, jeans still, but new ones, and a plain black shirt that fits properly. His hair is damp from the shower, pushed back from his face. He looks more like himself. He also looks nothing like himself at all. He takes his seat without speaking, nods once to his father, doesn't look at his mother. His father sets down the tablet. Better. Thanks. Now, explain. He picks up his fork, cuts into the salmon on his plate. Explain what? Don't play games. His father's voice stays level, but there's steel underneath. 6 months. Where were you? Different cities, different jobs. What kind of jobs? Construction, dishwashing, warehouse work, whatever I could find that paid cash. His mother makes a choked sound. You're joking. He takes a bite, chews, swallows. No. Why? The word bursts out of her. Why would you do that? He sets down his fork, looks at her directly for the first time since sitting down. Because I wanted to know what it was like. What was like? Not being me. The words settle over the table like a blanket dropped over a fire. His father leans back in his chair. And what did you learn? A lot. Such as. He picks up his water glass, takes a slow drink. That people treat you different when you don't have money. That most people work harder in a day than I've worked in my entire life. That this is ridiculous. His mother's voice climbs again. You already knew these things. Everyone knows these things. You didn't need to live in filth to. I didn't live in filth. I lived in cheap motels and shared apartments. I ate ramen and day-old bread. I learned how to stretch $20 for 3 days. He pauses. I learned what it feels like to be tired in a way that sleep doesn't fix. His sister is watching him now, phone forgotten. Did anyone recognize you? No. How? I stayed away from the cities where we have business, grew my hair out, kept my head down, used a different name. His father's expression hasn't changed. And the money you earned? Kept it. All of it. It's in the bag upstairs. How much? About $8,000. His mother laughs, high, disbelieving. 8,000. You left a Fortune 500 company to make $8,000 in 6 months. I left to learn something. His voice stays calm. The money was just proof it was real. Proof of what? That I could survive without this. He gestures at the room, the house, all of it. That I'm not just this name, this family. His father drums his fingers on the table once, twice. And now I know. So you'll come back to the office. It's not a question. He doesn't answer right away, just looks down at his plate, at the half-eaten salmon and untouched vegetables. I don't know yet, he finally says. His father's fingers stop drumming. Excuse me? I said I don't know. I need to think about it. There's nothing to think about. His mother's voice is brittle now. You are the heir. The company needs you. We need you. This family has been fine without me for 6 months. He looks at her again, and something in his expression makes her go quiet. Better than fine, from what I've heard. His father's eyes narrow. What does that mean? It means things kept running. Deals got made. Profits stayed up. He pushes back from the table slightly. So clearly I'm not as essential as everyone keeps saying. You're being childish. Maybe. He stands. Or maybe I'm being honest for the first time in my life. He walks out before anyone can respond. His mother stares after him, face flushed dark. I cannot believe. She trails off into silence. His father picks up his tablet again. Returns to reading. Give him time, he'll come around. And if he doesn't? He will. His father's voice is certain. Final. He always does. She watches Jade watching their father, something unreadable in her expression. Then Jade's eyes shift to her across the table, and for a moment they just look at each other. Jade's mouth twitches again. That almost smile. Then she picks up her phone and goes back to scrolling. The dinner continues in silence. She doesn't eat a single bite. She finds him on the back terrace an hour later. He's sitting on the stone wall, legs dangling over the side, looking out at the gardens that stretch away into darkness. The security lights cast everything in harsh whites and deep blacks. No middle ground. She stops in the doorway. Doesn't speak. He doesn't turn around, but his shoulders shift slightly. You don't have to check on me. I'm not. Then why are you here? She doesn't have a good answer for that. Or maybe she has too many answers, and none of them are the right one. She crosses the terrace, stops a few feet away from him. He still doesn't look at her. You could have called, she says quietly. I know. I didn't know if you were alive. I'm sorry. The apology is simple. Honest. It doesn't help. She wraps her arms around herself. The night air is cold and she didn't bring a jacket. Why didn't you tell me? The question comes out smaller than she means it to. Before you left. Why didn't you? Because you would have tried to stop me. No, I wouldn't have. He turns then, finally, and looks at her. Yes, you would have. You would have said it was dangerous, reckless. That I was being stupid. You were being stupid. His mouth quirks, almost a smile. See? That doesn't mean I would have stopped you. She takes a breath. I would have, I don't know. Helped, maybe. Or at least what? At least said goodbye. The words hang between them. He looks away again. I couldn't. Why not? Because if I saw your face, I wouldn't have been able to leave. Something in her chest cracks open. She sits down on the wall beside him, not touching, but close enough that she can feel the warmth coming off him. He smells different now, like the cheap soap from his shower, nothing like the expensive cologne he used to wear. Your mother thinks you've had a breakdown, she says after a while. I know. Your father thinks you're making a point. I know that too. What do you think? He's quiet for a long moment. Then, I think I needed to know who I was without all this. And I'm still figuring it out. She pulls her knees up, wraps her arms around them. Did you really sleep on the street? Once, in Philadelphia, I ran out of money before payday and couldn't afford the motel. He pauses. It was educational. That's one word for it. Yeah. They sit in silence. Below them, the garden stretches out in geometric precision. Every hedge trimmed, every flower bed perfect. Nothing wild, nothing accidental. I didn't know if you'd still be here, he says suddenly. She goes still. What? When I came back. I didn't know if... He stops, starts again. It wouldn't have surprised me. If you'd left. Her throat tightens. Where would I go? I don't know. Anywhere. He looks at her again, and his eyes are dark in the security lights. Somewhere that isn't this. This is my home. Is it? The question cuts deeper than it should. She doesn't answer. Can't. He reaches out slowly, like he's approaching something that might bolt. His hand covers hers on the stone between them. His palm is rough now, calloused in places that were smooth 6 months ago. I'm sorry I left you here with them, he says quietly. That wasn't fair. She looks down at their hands. They're your family. That doesn't mean they're easy. No. Especially my mother. Especially your mother, she agrees. His thumb moves against her knuckles. Once, twice, she should pull away. Should maintain the careful distance that's kept her sane for the past 6 months. Should remember that he left without saying goodbye, that he let her believe he might be dead, that he came back different in ways she doesn't understand yet. She doesn't pull away. What happened to your jaw? She asks instead, looking at the scar. He touches it reflexively with his free hand. Bar fight in Detroit. Guy thought I was someone else. Were you? Like, what? Someone else. He considers that. Yeah, I guess I was. What name did you use? Different ones. Whatever felt right at the time. He drops his hand from his jaw. Mostly I was Jack. Jack, she repeats. The name feels foreign in her mouth. Did people believe you? Mostly. When you look like you've been sleeping in your clothes and smell like day-old sweat, people don't ask a lot of questions. That's depressing. That's reality. She shivers. The cold is seeping into her bones now, through the thin fabric of her dress. He notices. Shifts closer. You should go inside. So should you. In a minute. But neither of them moves. His hand is still covering hers and she can feel his pulse against her wrist, steady, slow, alive. Did you miss me? The question comes out before she can stop it. He goes very still. Every day. Then why didn't you come back sooner? Because I wasn't done yet. And now you are? I don't know. He squeezes her hand once, gently. Maybe. She turns to look at him fully, studies his face in the harsh light, the new lines around his eyes, the scar, the way his jaw is sharper now, like the softness has been worked off him. "You look different," she says. "I am different." "Are you?" "Yes." "How?" He's quiet for a moment. Then, "Ask me again in a week." "Why a week?" "Because I need to see something first." "See what?" He doesn't answer, just stands up, pulling her gently to her feet with him. "Come on, you're freezing." He's right. She is. She didn't even notice until now. He walks her back across the terrace, hand still holding hers, and she lets him because it's easier than pulling away. Easier than acknowledging the distance that's grown between them. Easier than admitting that she doesn't know if 6 months apart has broken something irreparable or if they were already broken before he left. At the door, he stops. "Your room or mine?" The question is careful. Neutral. She hesitates. "Mine." Something crosses his face. Disappointment maybe, or relief. She can't tell. "Okay." He lets go of her hand. She goes inside alone. Doesn't look back. She wakes to voices, low, angry, coming from somewhere below. The clock on her nightstand reads 2:47 a.m. She lies still for a moment, trying to orient herself. Then the voices rise, his mother, his father, and underneath them, quieter but steady, him. She gets out of bed, pulls on a robe, opens her door carefully. The hallway is dark except for the light bleeding up from downstairs. She moves to the banister, staying in shadow. "Absolutely unacceptable." His mother's voice. He can do whatever he wants. His father, calmer. "He's an adult. He's our son. He has responsibilities," which he's aware of. Then why is he acting like what, Mom? His voice cuts through, quiet, sharp, a pause, then, "Like you've forgotten who you are. Or maybe I finally figured it out." She moves closer to the top of the stairs. From here she can see them in the foyer, his parents still dressed like they never went to bed. Him in sweatpants and a t-shirt, barefoot. His father is leaning against the wall, arms crossed. His mother is pacing. "This is about her, isn't it?" His mother stops, turns to face him. "This is about that girl you married." Everything goes quiet. She holds her breath. "Don't," he says. His voice is different now. Lower, dangerous. "Don't what?" "Tell the truth?" His mother's voice climbs. "You were fine before her. You understood your place, your duty. Then she came along and suddenly you're questioning everything, running away. I didn't run away." "Then what do you call it?" "I call it trying to understand what normal people do. What she grew up doing." His mother laughs, brittle, mean. "Normal people? Is that what she's told you? That she's normal?" "She is normal. More normal than anyone in this house. She married you for your money." The words land like a slap. He goes very still. "What did you just say?" "You heard me." His mother steps closer. "She saw an opportunity and she took it. A poor girl marrying into one of the wealthiest families in the country, that's not love. That's strategy." "You don't know what you're talking about." "Don't I?" His mother's voice turns cold. "I've watched her for 3 years. Watched her play the perfect wife, the grateful outsider. But I know what she is. I know what she wants." "And what's that?" "Everything. Your name. Your money. Your life." His mother pauses. "And once she has it, she'll leave you with nothing." He takes a step forward. "You're wrong." "Am I? Then why didn't she leave while you were gone? Why is she still here?" "Because she loves me. Because she loves what you can give her." His mother's voice drops lower. The moment she realizes you're not coming back to the company. The moment she understands you're serious about this poverty experiment. She'll be gone. No, she won't. You sound very sure. I am sure. Then you're a fool. His father finally speaks. That's enough, Victoria. His mother whirls on him. Don't you start. You know I'm right. You've always known what she is. His father's expression doesn't change. What I know is that it's 3 a.m. and this conversation isn't productive. Productive? Our son has lost his mind and you're worried about productivity? I'm worried about you saying things you can't take back. His father pushes off from the wall. Go to bed. We'll discuss this in the morning. There's nothing to discuss. He needs to... Victoria. His father's voice goes hard. Bed. Now. His mother's mouth thins to a line. She looks at her son, then at her husband, then turns and stalks off toward the west wing without another word. The silence she leaves behind is thick. His father sighs. She doesn't mean it. Yes, she does. All right, she means some of it. His father studies him. But she's not entirely wrong either. About what? About this affecting your judgment. His father moves closer. I don't care what you do with your money or your time. If you want to work construction, work construction. But the company needs you. I need you. You have plenty of people. I have plenty of employees. I have one son. The weight in those words makes her chest tight. Even from up here in the shadows, he doesn't respond right away. Just stands there, hands in his pockets, looking at his father. I'm not saying no, he finally says. I'm just saying not yet. How long is not yet? I don't know. His father's jaw tightens. That's not good enough. It's going to have to be. They stare at each other, two versions of the same face, separated by decades and circumstance. Then his father nods once. Fine. You have 3 months. Figure out whatever you need to figure out. But after that, I expect an answer. And if the answer is no? His father's expression goes cold. Then we'll have a different conversation. He turns and walks away, following his wife toward the west wing, leaving him standing alone in the foyer. She watches him from above, watches him run both hands through his hair, then down his face, watches him look up at the chandelier overhead, crystal and gold, probably worth more than most people make in a lifetime. Then he looks toward the stairs, directly at her. She freezes. I know you're there, he says quietly. She steps out of the shadow. I couldn't sleep. Yeah. He moves to the bottom of the stairs, looks up at her. How much did you hear? Enough. He nods slowly. You want to talk about it? No. You sure? Yes. He starts climbing. Stops 1 step below her, so they're eye to eye. She's wrong, he says. You know that, right? She doesn't answer. Hey. He reaches out, tilts her chin up gently so she has to look at him. You know that. Do I? His thumb brushes her jaw. I wouldn't have married you if I thought you were using me. People change their minds. I haven't. Your mother thinks, I don't care what my mother thinks. His voice is firm. I care what you think. She looks at him, really looks at him, and tries to find the man she married 3 years ago. He's there, somewhere, underneath the calluses and the scar and the new weight in his eyes. I think you're scared, she says quietly. He goes still. Of what? That she might be right. That everyone might be right. That you're not who you thought you were. His hand drops from her face. She continues anyway. I think you went away to find yourself and now you're back and you still don't know, and that terrifies you. And you? His voice is rough. Are you terrified? Every day. Of what? That I don't belong here. That I never did. That 3 years of trying doesn't matter, because your family will never see me as anything except. He kisses her. It's sudden, unexpected, and tastes like toothpaste and desperation. His hands come up to frame her face, and she makes a small sound against his mouth. Surprise or surrender, she's not sure which. When he pulls back, they're both breathing hard. You belong here, he says, voice low and fierce. With me. That's all that matters. She wants to believe him, wants it so badly her chest aches, but belief and truth aren't always the same thing. She steps back, pulls away from his hands. I should go back to bed. Something in his expression cracks. Don't. Please don't. I'm tired. Then sleep in my room. I'll take the couch. He stops. I don't want to be alone tonight. The admission costs him something. She can see it in the tension of his shoulders, the way his hands curl into fists at his sides. She's already shaking her head. That's not a good idea. Why not? Because she's barely holding herself together as it is. Because 6 months of living in this house without him, of enduring his mother's cruelty and his father's indifference and the staff's pitying looks, has worn her down to something fragile. Because if she goes to his room, if she lets him touch her again, she'll fall back into the pattern of loving him, and it will break her when he leaves again. And he will leave again. She can feel it. Just because, she says instead. He looks at her for a long moment, then nods. Okay. She turns and walks back to her room, closes the door, leans against it and listens to his footsteps retreat down the hall. Doesn't cry. She's gotten very good at not crying. Morning comes too bright and too early. She showers, dresses in something simple, jeans and a sweater, nothing that will draw attention. Braids her hair back from her face. When she comes downstairs, his mother is already in the breakfast room, coffee cup in hand, staring out the window with an expression that could cut glass. She pauses in the doorway. His mother doesn't turn. He told you, didn't he? About last night. I heard you. She moves to the sideboard, pours herself coffee she doesn't want. The whole house probably heard you. Good. Maybe someone will talk sense into him. That won't be me. His mother's head turns sharply. Excuse me? If you want someone to convince him to come back to work, find someone else. You're his wife. Which is exactly why I won't do it. She takes a sip of coffee. Bitter. Perfect. He needs to make his own choice. His mother's eyes narrow. You're enjoying this, aren't you? Enjoying what? Watching him throw away everything his father and I built. Watching him destroy his future. She sets her coffee cup down with a sharp click. This is what you wanted all along, isn't it? To drag him down to your level. The words are designed to wound. They do. But she's had practice. 6 months of practice. I don't want him to do anything, she says evenly. I want him to be happy. Happy? His mother spits the word. Happiness is a luxury people like us can't afford. People like you, maybe. People like... His mother stands abruptly, chair scraping against tile. You have no idea what this family has sacrificed, what we've built, what we've endured to maintain our position, and you think happiness matters? I think it's the only thing that does. His mother crosses the room in 3 strides, stops directly in front of her. Up close, she can see the fine lines around her eyes, the tension in her jaw. She's beautiful still, elegant, carefully maintained, but there's something brittle underneath. Listen to me very carefully, his mother says, voice low. My son is going through a phase, a stupid, childish phase that will pass. And when it does, he'll come back to his senses, return to the company and resume his life. His real life, she doesn't blink. And if he doesn't, then he'll lose everything. His inheritance, his position, his name. His mother leans closer. And you'll lose everything with him. The house, the money, the life you've grown so accustomed to. I never wanted those things. Everyone wants those things. They just lie about it. His mother straightens. But here's what you need to understand. I will not let you ruin my son. I will not stand by while you poison him against his family, against his responsibilities. So either you help me bring him back, or I'll make sure you regret ever walking into this house. The threat hangs in the air between them. She sets down her coffee cup carefully. Is that all? His mother's eyes flash. You think I won't do it? You think I don't have the power to? I think you're scared. The words come out calm, certain. I think you're terrified that he might actually be happy without all of this. Without the company. Without you. His mother's hand moves fast, sharp, instinctive. The slap cracks across her cheek. She doesn't move, doesn't touch her face, just stands there, feeling the sting spread, hot and immediate. His mother's breathing is harsh. How dare you? Is there a problem here? His voice. They both turn. He's standing in the doorway, hair wet from a shower, dressed in clothes that are nice but not expensive. Jeans, a button-down. His eyes move between them, taking in the scene. His mother's flushed face, her hand still raised slightly, the mark blooming across her cheek. His mother drops her hand. We were just talking. Talking. He steps into the room. His eyes haven't left the red mark on her face. That's what you call it? She was being disrespectful. She was being honest. He stops beside her, and she can feel the anger radiating off him. Which is more than I can say for you. His mother's mouth opens, closes. I'm your mother. And she's my wife. His voice is quiet now. Dangerous. Which means if you ever put your hands on her again, we're done. Do you understand me? You can't be serious. Try me. His mother looks between them, at him, solid and immovable, at her, still standing there with his mother's handprint on her face. Fine. His mother's voice goes cold. Protect her. Choose her. But when this all falls apart, when she leaves you with nothing, don't come crying to me. She walks out. The silence she leaves is deafening. She finally reaches up, touches her cheek. It's hot under her fingers. Let me see, he says quietly. She turns to face him. His jaw is tight. And there's something in his eyes she hasn't seen before. Rage, barely controlled. He touches her face gently, fingertips tracing the outline of the mark. Does it hurt? Not really. Liar. His thumb brushes her cheekbone, and she closes her eyes. I'm sorry, he says. I should have. You couldn't have stopped it. I should have been here. You're here now. He makes a rough sound in his throat, then pulls her against him. She goes, because it's easier than fighting, and his arms come around her, and for a moment she lets herself remember what this used to feel like before everything got so complicated. We should leave, he says into her hair. She goes still. What? Leave. Today. Get out of this house. Where would we go? I don't care. A hotel, an apartment, anywhere that isn't here. He pulls back enough to look at her. We'll find something small, something ours, just until I figure out what I'm doing next. Your father gave you 3 months. I know. And your mother, we'll get over it or she won't. Huh, I don't care anymore. His hands tighten on her shoulders. I can't watch them treat you like this. I won't. She wants to say yes, wants to pack a bag and walk out with him and never look back. But, and then what? She asks quietly. We live on the $8,000 you made in 6 months. We rent some studio apartment and pretend like this life doesn't exist. If that's what it takes. To do what? To be happy. To be normal. To figure out who we are without all this. He gestures around them. The crystal, the marble, the portrait of his grandfather hanging on the wall. Don't you want that? I don't know what I want anymore. The admission costs her something. He studies her face. What happened while I was gone? Nothing. Everything. She pulls away from his hands. Your mother happened. Your father happened. 6 months of being in this house without you happened. Tell me. There's nothing to tell. Bullshit. She turns away, wraps her arms around herself. He waits. They blamed me, she finally says. For you? Leaving. Your mother said I put ideas in your head, said I made you weak. Your father. She stops. Your father just stopped seeing me entirely, like I wasn't here, like I didn't exist. Jesus. Jade was fine. She ignored me like always. She laughs, but there's no humor in it. The staff were kind at least. Martha brought me tea. Victor drove me places when I needed to get out. They were the only ones who treated me like a person. She feels him move behind her. His hands settle on her shoulders again, gentler this time. I'm sorry, he says. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have left you here alone. No, you shouldn't have. I was selfish. Yes. And stupid. Also yes. He rests his forehead against the back of her head. Come with me. Please. Let's get out of here. She closes her eyes. I'm scared. Of what? That if we leave, we'll never come back. That we'll try to build something without all this and it won't be enough. That we'll end up broke and miserable and resenting each other. Or we'll be happy. We don't know how to be happy without money. Then we'll learn. She turns in his arms, looks up at him. You really believe that? I have to. His hands frame her face again. Careful of the mark on her cheek. Because if I don't, then the last 6 months meant nothing. Then I'm exactly who my mother thinks I am. A spoiled rich kid playing dress up. You're not that. Then prove it. Come with me. She searches his eyes, tries to see the future in them, tries to see if they survive this. All of it. Together. She can't. But maybe that's the point. Okay, she whispers. His face transforms. Yeah? Yeah. He kisses her hard, desperate, relieved. She kisses him back and tries not to think about all the ways this could destroy them. When they break apart, he's smiling, real and wide, and more like the man she fell in love with than he's been since he walked back through the door. Pack light, he says. We leave in an hour. She nods. He kisses her once more, quick and fierce, then heads for the door. And hey, he says, turning back. Thank you. For what? For choosing me. He's gone before she can respond. She stands alone in the breakfast room, fingers pressed to her lips, and wonders if she just made the best decision of her life or the worst. Only one way to find out. She goes upstairs to pack. They leave at noon. 1 bag each, her jewelry, his cash, nothing else. His father is in his study, on a call. He doesn't come out. His mother is nowhere to be seen. Jade appears in the hallway as they're heading for the door. She looks at the bags, at them, and something shifts in her expression. You're really doing this? She asks. Yeah, he says. Dad's going to be pissed. I know. Jade studies them for a moment longer. Then she pulls out her phone, taps something, and holds it out to him. Here. He looks at the screen. What is this? A friend's apartment. Empty for the next 6 months while she's abroad. 2-bedroom in the city. Not fancy, but clean. Jade shrugs. Use it, don't use it. Whatever. He stares at his sister. Why? Because someone in this family should be happy. She tucks her phone away. And it's not going to be me or Dad or Mom. So it might as well be you. His throat works. Jade, don't get weird about it. But she's smiling slightly. Just don't be a stranger, okay? I've gotten used to having you around. When you're around. He pulls her into a hug. She goes stiff for a second, then relaxes into it. When they pull apart, Jade looks at her. Take care of him. He's an idiot, but he means well. She nods. Can't speak past the sudden tightness in her throat. Jade turns and walks away without another word. They stand in the foyer for a moment longer, looking around at the marble and crystal and careful perfection. Ready? He asks. She takes his hand. Ready. They walk out together. Victor is waiting by the car, the old sedan he uses for errands, not one of the family's luxury vehicles. Sir, he says, opening the back door. Miss. Thanks, Victor, he says. Of course. Victor's eyes move to her, and there's something warm in them. Best of luck to you both. They get in. Victor closes the door, starts the engine. As they pull away, she turns to look back at the house. His mother is standing in an upstairs window, watching them leave. She doesn't wave. Neither does his mother. She turns forward and doesn't look back again. The apartment is small. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, a kitchen with appliances that are functional but ancient. The walls are white, the floors are scuffed hardwood. The view is of a brick building across a narrow street. It's perfect. This is... He stands in the center of the living room, turning slowly. This is great. She sets her bag down by the door. It's tiny. It's ours. It's borrowed. For now. He moves to the window, looks out. But we'll find something. Something we can actually afford on a real salary. You're getting a job? We both are. He turns to look at her. Real jobs. Normal jobs. Whatever we can find. I don't know how to do anything. Neither do I. We'll figure it out. She moves through the space, trailing her fingers along the back of a worn couch. The coffee table has water rings. The kitchen sink drips. She's never loved a place more. Which bedroom do you want? He asks. She stops, looks at him. He's watching her carefully, like he's trying to read her mind. Why would we need 2 bedrooms? She asks quietly. Something flashes across his face. Hope, relief, fear, all mixed together. I just thought, after everything, you might want space. Do you want space? No. Then we don't need 2 bedrooms. He crosses the room in 3 strides, stops in front of her. You're sure? I'm sure. He kisses her slowly this time, thoroughly, like he's trying to memorize the shape of her mouth. She rises up on her toes, wraps her arms around his neck and lets herself fall into it. When they break apart, he's smiling. So, he says, what do we do now? She looks around the apartment, small, imperfect, theirs. I guess we figure out how to be normal. Together? Together. Normal, it turns out, is harder than it sounds. They spend the first week setting up the apartment, buying sheets from a discount store, borrowing dishes from Jade, learning how to use the ancient stove without setting off the smoke alarm. He finds a job first, construction again, working for a company renovating office buildings downtown. The hours are long, the work is hard, and he comes home each night exhausted and covered in dust. He's never seemed happier. She struggles more. She applies to restaurants, shops, anywhere that might hire someone with no experience and a resume that's essentially blank. Most places don't call back. the ones that do take one look at her, the way she holds herself, the way she speaks, and politely decline. "You're too polished," he says one night, watching her scroll through job listings on her phone. "They can tell you don't need the money. But I do need the money. We do. But you don't look like it." He gestures at her. "The clothes, the way you move, even the way you sit, it's all wrong. I don't know how to be anything else." He sets down his beer, comes to sit beside her on the couch. "Then we'll practice," he says. "Tomorrow we'll go through your wardrobe, find stuff that's less, less me, less estate, more real." He touches her hand. "It's not a bad thing. You just need to blend in better." She wants to argue, wants to say she shouldn't have to pretend to be someone she's not, but she's been pretending to be someone she's not for 3 years. What's a little more pretending? "Okay," she says. They spend the next day transforming her. Cheaper clothes, hair left down and loose instead of carefully styled. Minimal makeup, simpler jewelry. When she looks in the mirror, she sees a stranger. "Better," he says approvingly. "Way better." She gets a job 2 days later, waitressing at a diner 3 blocks from the apartment. 6-hour shifts, minimum wage plus tips, and the manager makes it clear she's on probation. She doesn't tell them her real name, uses her middle name instead, something common, forgettable. The first shift is brutal. She drops a tray of glasses, forgets 2 orders, gets yelled at by a customer over cold coffee. She comes home in tears. He holds her while she cries, smooths her hair back, tells her it'll get easier. It does, slowly. By the end of the 2nd week, she can balance 3 plates at once. By the end of the 3rd, she's memorizing orders without writing them down. By the end of the month, she's one of the better waitresses they have. The customers start requesting her section. Some of them tip well, most of them don't. She learns to smile anyway. They build a rhythm. She works mornings and early afternoons. He works late mornings through early evening. They overlap for about 2 hours in the middle of the day, but otherwise they're ships passing. On his days off, he does laundry. On her days off, she shops for groceries, trying to make their limited budget stretch. They eat dinner together every night, sitting on the worn couch with plates balanced on their knees, watching whatever's free on TV. They talk about their days, the customers she dealt with, the projects he's working on. They complain about their bosses, their coworkers, the exhaustion that seems to seep into their bones. They don't talk about the estate. His family, the life they left behind. It's like it doesn't exist anymore. At night they fall into bed together, too tired for much more than holding each other. But sometimes, when they're not quite asleep yet, his hand will find hers under the covers, or she'll press closer to his warmth, and it feels like maybe they're building something real, something that's just theirs. 2 months in, his phone rings. His father. He stares at the screen for a long moment, then declines the call. It rings again, 5 minutes later. He turns off the phone. "You're going to have to talk to him eventually," she says. "I know. He gave you 3 months. I know that too. It's been 2. He sets the phone down, looks at her. "Are you happy?" The question catches her off guard. I don't know. Are you?" "Yeah." He sounds surprised. "I really am. Even with the hard work, the small apartment, especially with those things." He reaches for her hand. "I like knowing that we're earning what we have, that it's ours because we worked for it, not because my last name bought it." She looks around the apartment, at the water stains on the ceiling, the scuffed floors, the couch they bought for $50 from a neighbor moving out. "It's not much," she says. "It's enough." "Is it?" He pulls her closer. "You tell me." She thinks about the estate, the marble and crystal. The staff and the gardens and the rooms she never had to clean herself. She thinks about the looks his mother gave her, the cold silence from his father, the 6 months of isolation. Yeah, she says quietly. It's enough. He kisses her forehead. Good. That night, they make love for the first time since he came home. It's different than it used to be. Slower, more deliberate, like they're learning each other all over again. Afterwards, she lies with her head on his chest, listening to his heartbeat, slow. I don't want to go back, he says into the darkness. She goes still. What? To the company, the estate, any of it. His hand moves through her hair. I want to stay here, build a life that's ours. Is that crazy? Probably. But I don't want to go back either. His arms tighten around her. So we won't. Your father. We'll have to find someone else to take over. And your inheritance. I don't care about the money. You say that now. I mean it. He shifts so he can look at her. I've been rich my whole life. I've been poor for 2 months. And you know what? I'm happier now than I've ever been. She searches his face in the dim light. You really mean that? I really do. She kisses him, and he pulls her closer, and they don't talk about it anymore. But the weight of the decision sits between them anyway. The 3rd month arrives like a deadline. His phone starts ringing constantly. His father, his mother. Numbers he doesn't recognize that are probably lawyers or board members or assistants calling on his father's behalf. He ignores all of them. You're making it worse, she tells him one morning over coffee. I know. He's not going to just let this go. I know that too. So what's your plan? He sets down his mug. I'm going to tell him no. Just like that? Just like that. He'll cut you off. Probably. He'll write you out of the will. Fine. Your mother will never speak to you again. That's actually a bonus. She doesn't laugh. Can't. Because this is real now, not theoretical. They're really doing this. What if we can't make it? She asks quietly. What if this life, this apartment, these jobs, what if it's not enough? Then we'll figure something else out. How? The same way everyone else does. We'll work harder. We'll find better jobs. He stops. We'll make it work. You sound very confident. I'm terrified, he admits. But I'm more terrified of going back. She understands that. God, does she understand that? Her phone buzzes. A text from Jade. Dad's planning something. Be ready. She shows him the message. His jaw tightens. Of course he is. What do you think he's going to do? I don't know. But knowing my father, it won't be subtle. They don't have to wait long to find out. The next day, she comes home from her shift to find a man in an expensive suit standing outside their apartment door. Mrs. Whitmore, he asks. The name sounds foreign. She barely uses it anymore. Who's asking? I'm David Chen, your father-in-law's attorney. He extends a card. I'd like to speak with you and your husband if possible. He's at work. I can wait. She doesn't invite him in. Just stands there in the hallway, still wearing her waitress uniform, and stares at him. What does he want? I think that conversation is better had with both of you present. Give me the short version. Mr. Chen sighs. Your father-in-law is prepared to offer you a very generous settlement in exchange for an annulment. The words take a moment to land. When they do, she laughs. You're joking. I'm afraid not. He wants to pay me to divorce his son. Technically, an annulment. There are certain legal advantages. No. Mrs. Whitmore, I don't think you understand the size of the offer. We're talking about enough money to set you up for life. A house, investments, Everything you'd need to. I said no. Mr. Chen's expression doesn't change. Perhaps you'd like to discuss it with your husband first. I don't need to discuss it. The answer is no. Mrs. Whitmore, tell his father that I'm not for sale. Tell him that his son is happy. Tell him to leave us alone. She turns and walks into the apartment, closes the door, and locks it. Her hands are shaking. She sinks down onto the couch and stares at the wall. Of course his father would try this, offer her money to leave, probably thinks she'll jump at the chance. Maybe the old her would have. The version that agreed to marry into that family in the first place, seduced by the lifestyle and the security. But she's not that person anymore. Is she? When he comes home 2 hours later, covered in drywall dust and exhausted, she tells him everything. He goes very still. What did you say? He asks quietly. I said no. Just like that? Just like that. He stares at her for a long moment. Then he crosses the room, pulls her to her feet, and kisses her so hard she forgets to breathe. When they break apart, he's smiling. I love you, he says. It's the first time he's said it since he came back. Her eyes burn. I love you too. We're really doing this. We're really doing this. He pulls her close, buries his face in her hair. No more lawyers. No more offers. We tell my father to fuck off and we build our own life. What if we fail? Then we fail together. She holds him tight and lets herself believe it might actually be possible. His father arrives the next morning. She's alone in the apartment, her day off, his workday, when the knock comes. She knows who it is before she opens the door. He's standing there in a three-piece suit, silver hair perfectly styled, expression carved from ice. May I come in? He asks. She should say no. Should close the door in his face. Instead, she steps aside. He enters slowly, taking in every detail. The cheap furniture, the water-stained ceiling, the dishes drying by the sink. So this is what my son chose, he says. This is what we both chose. He turns to look at her. I underestimated you. Most people do. I thought you'd take the money. I know. But you didn't. No. He nods slowly, like he's recalculating something. Why? Because I love him. Love. He says the word like it's foreign. Is that really worth living like this? She looks around the apartment, at the life they've built. Yes. He studies her for a long moment. You're more like my wife than I realized. Stubborn. Impossible to negotiate with. I'll take that as a compliment. It wasn't meant as one. He moves to the window, looks out at the brick building across the street. My son is throwing away his entire future, the company, his inheritance, everything he was raised to be. Maybe he doesn't want to be that anymore. What he wants is irrelevant. He has responsibilities. To who? You? The company? She moves closer. What about responsibility to himself? That's a luxury. No, that's being human. He turns back to her, and for the first time, there's something other than ice in his expression. Something almost like respect. You've changed him, he says. He changed himself. By running away? By trying to understand. Understand what? What it's like for the rest of us. She crosses her arms. He spent his whole life in a bubble. Never had to worry about money or where he'd sleep or how he'd eat. And he wanted to know what that was like. What most people deal with every day. And now he knows. So he can come home. Or he can stay here and build something real. His father's expression hardens again. This isn't real. This is playing house. Pretending. The moment things get truly difficult, the moment real hardship sets in, he'll come running back. You don't know him as well as you think you do. I know he's my son. I know what he's capable of, and I know that eventually he'll realize this life isn't sustainable. Then I guess we'll find out. His father stares at her for a long moment. Then he reaches into his jacket, pulls out an envelope. The offer stands, he says, setting it on the coffee table. Double what my lawyer proposed. No strings attached. Just sign the papers and walk away. She doesn't touch the envelope. I already said no. Things change. People change. He moves toward the door. When they do, call me. He leaves without another word. She stares at the envelope for a long time. Then she picks it up, walks to the kitchen, and drops it in the trash. When he comes home that evening, she tells him about the visit. He goes very quiet. What did he say? He finally asks. He thinks we're playing house, that we'll fail and come crawling back. And what do you think? She looks at him, really looks at him, at the man who gave up everything to understand her world, who works 60-hour weeks doing physical labor, who comes home exhausted, but happy, who holds her at night like she's the only thing keeping him anchored. I think we're going to prove him wrong, she says. He pulls her into his arms. Damn right we are. They don't fail. 4 months, 6 months, 8 months. They move to a better apartment, still small but cleaner, with appliances that work. She gets promoted to shift manager at the diner. He moves from construction to project management, trading physical labor for office work that pays better and destroys his body less. They start saving money. Not much, but enough. They buy a used car, learn to cook real meals, start talking about the future, not in abstract terms but in concrete plans, a better place to live, career goals, maybe eventually kids. They don't hear from his family, not his father, not his mother, not even Jade, though she sends occasional texts, usually just emojis or pictures of the estate looking empty. It's like they've been erased. Some days, that's freeing. Other days, it weighs on her. Do you miss them? She asks one night. They're lying in bed, his arm around her, her head on his chest. Sometimes, he admits. Not my parents, but Jade, the staff. Victor and Martha. You could call them. I know, but you won't. Not yet. He's quiet for a moment. If I call, it means I'm wavering, and I'm not. I don't want to give my father that satisfaction. She understands, but she also knows that silence cuts both ways. What if something happens? She asks. What if someone gets sick or... Then Jade will tell me. And if she doesn't? He doesn't answer. She lifts her head to look at him. You can stand your ground and still love them, you know. Those things aren't mutually exclusive. With my family, they are. Maybe he's right. Maybe with a family like his, there's no middle ground. Either you're all in or you're out completely. But it still feels like loss. The call comes on a Tuesday. She's at work in the middle of the lunch rush. When her phone buzzes, she ignores it. She's not allowed to take calls during shifts. But it buzzes again. And again. On her break, she checks. 16 missed calls from Jade. Her stomach drops. She calls back immediately. Jade answers on the first ring. Finally. Jesus. What's wrong? It's Dad. Jade's voice is tight. He had a heart attack. He's in surgery now. The world tilts. Is he? I don't know. Mom's losing her shit. The doctors won't tell us anything. A pause. You need to tell him. He needs to be here. Jade, I don't care about their stupid fight. This is Dad. He needs to be here. The line goes dead. She stands in the back room of the diner, phone clutched in her hand, trying to breathe. Her manager pokes her head in. You okay? I need to go. Family emergency. Now? We're slammed. I'm sorry. I have to. She doesn't wait for permission, just grabs her bag and runs. She finds him on a job site downtown, wearing a hard hat and arguing with someone about load-bearing walls. "We need to go," she says. He turns, sees her face. "What happened?" "Your father. Heart attack. He's in surgery." All the color drains from his face. "When?" "This morning. Jade just called." He doesn't move, just stands there, hard hat in his hands, staring at nothing. "We should go," she says gently. "The hospital?" "No." "What?" I said no. He sets the hard hat down carefully. He made his choice. I made mine. He's your father. He's a man who offered you money to leave me, who told me I was throwing my life away, who hasn't spoken to me in 8 months. And if he dies, the question hangs between them. His jaw works. Then he dies, knowing I chose you, chose this life, chose myself. You'll regret it. Maybe. He looks at her finally. But I'll regret going back more. She wants to argue. Wants to tell him he's being stubborn, that this is different, that some things are bigger than pride. But she sees it in his eyes, the fear underneath the anger, the terror that if he goes back, even for this, he'll get pulled back in, that his father will recover and use this moment of weakness against him, that nothing will have changed except he'll be trapped again. "Okay," she says quietly. "Okay? Okay. We don't go." He searches her face. "You think I'm wrong." "I think you're scared. And I think you have every right to be." Something in him cracks then. His face crumples and he pulls her against him, and she holds him while he shakes. "I'm a terrible son," he whispers. "No. You're a human being trying to survive." They stand like that for a long time, surrounded by construction noise and dust and the smell of fresh paint. Then his phone rings. Jade again. He stares at it. "Answer it," she says. He does. Puts it on speaker so she can hear. "He's out of surgery," Jade says without preamble. "Stable. They think he'll make it." The relief is immediate and overwhelming. "Okay," he manages. That's good. Mom wants to know if you're coming." He looks at her. She nods. "We'll be there in an hour," he says. The hospital is every hospital. Sterile, fluorescent, smelling of antiseptic and fear. His mother is in the waiting room, flanked by lawyers and assistants. She's perfectly composed, makeup intact, not a hair out of place. She looks up when they enter. Her eyes sweep over them, their work clothes, their linked hands, the life they're wearing like armor. "You came," she says flatly. Jade called. "Of course she did." His mother stands. "Your father is in ICU. They're limiting visitors." "I want to see him." "I'm sure you do." His mother's voice is cold. "Tell me, is this guilt or curiosity?" "Mom, no, I'm genuinely asking. Do you feel bad for abandoning your family? Or do you just want to make sure you're still in the will?" He goes very still. "That's not why I'm here." "Isn't it?" She steps closer. 8 months. 8 months of silence. No calls, no visits, nothing. And now, when your father is lying in a hospital bed fighting for his life, suddenly you appear. "I came because Jade said he might die." How noble. His mother's eyes are chips of ice, but he's not dying. He's going to recover. And when he does, this little reunion will be over, and you'll go back to your apartment and your minimum wage job and your poverty experiment. It's not an experiment. Then what is it? My life. His mother laughs, sharp, bitter. Your life? How dramatic. Tell me, son, is this life of yours everything you hoped it would be? Are you happy struggling? Is love enough to replace everything you gave up? He glances at her. She squeezes his hand. "Yes," he says quietly. It is. His mother's expression doesn't change, but something flickers in her eyes. Surprise, maybe, or disbelief. You really mean that? I do. Then you're more foolish than I thought. She turns away. Go see your father. Room 412. Don't stay long. He needs rest. She walks away without looking back. Jade appears from around a corner. That went well. Shut up, he says, but there's no heat in it. Jade hugs him quickly. I'm glad you came. Yeah, well, someone had to keep you company. Mom's been unbearable. You have no idea. Jade looks at her. Hey, you're still here. That's something. Where else would I be? Jade's mouth quirks. Fair point. She checks her watch. I need to go deal with the lawyers. They're circling like sharks. You know where to find me if you need me. She disappears back around the corner. They stand alone in the waiting room. You ready? She asks. No. Want to do it anyway? Yeah. They take the elevator to the 4th floor. Find room 412. His father is barely recognizable. Tubes and wires, monitors beeping, face gray against white sheets. He stops in the doorway. You don't have to go in, she says quietly. Yes. I do. He moves to the bedside, stands there looking down at the man who raised him, shaped him, controlled him for 28 years. His father's eyes are closed. Hey, Dad, he says quietly. No response. He reaches out, hesitates, then takes his father's hand. It's cold, papery, nothing like the strong, commanding hands he remembers. I know you're probably pissed at me, he continues. I know Mom is. I know you think I'm throwing my life away. He pauses. Maybe I am. But it's my life to throw away, right? Still nothing. She moves to stand beside him, puts her hand on his shoulder. I'm happy, he says. I know that doesn't matter to you. I know you think happiness is a luxury, but I'm happy in a way I never was before, and I have her to thank for that. His father's eyes open, slowly, unfocused at first, then sharpening. They land on him, hold. You came, his father rasps. Of course I came. His father's gaze shifts to her. Both of you. Both of us, she confirms. His father's mouth moves like he's trying to smile, or grimace, hard to tell. Stubborn, he manages. Both of you. We learned from the best, he says. His father makes a sound, might be a laugh, might be a cough. The monitors beep faster, and a nurse appears in the doorway. Time to go, she says firmly. He needs rest. He squeezes his father's hand once. I'll come back tomorrow. His father's fingers tighten slightly. Don't need pity. It's not pity. It's, he stops. It's family. His father's eyes close again. They leave the room. In the hallway, he leans against the wall and drags both hands through his hair. That was hard, she finishes. Yeah, but you did it. We did it. She takes his hand again. What now? Now we go home. Come back tomorrow, like I said. He looks at her. Is that okay? It's your father. That's not what I asked. She considers. Yeah, it's okay, as long as we leave together. Always together. They take the elevator back down, walk past his mother without stopping, get in their car and drive back to their small apartment in their borrowed life. That night they lie in bed and don't talk about what comes next, because the truth is they don't know. His father recovers slowly. They visit every other day. Sometimes his mother is there, icy and silent. Sometimes it's just Jade, who fills the silence with sarcasm and hospital gossip. Sometimes it's just his father, weak but alert, watching them with those calculating eyes. You're still living in that apartment, he says one day. Yes. Still working those jobs? Yes. For how long? I don't know. As long as it takes. As long as what takes? He looks at her, then back at his father. As long as it takes to build something that's ours, something we earned. His father is quiet for a long time. Then, and when you've built it, when you've proven whatever point you're trying to prove, then we keep building, away from this family, if that's what it takes. His father nods slowly. I underestimated you. You're not the first, but I'm your father. I should have known better. He shifts in the bed, winces. I've been thinking about the company, about succession. Dad, let me finish. His father's voice gains strength. I'm not getting younger. This heart attack made that clear. The company needs leadership, needs someone who understands sacrifice. I'm not coming back to the office. I'm not asking you to. His father looks at him steadily. I'm asking you to consider something else. What? Starting your own company, something separate from the family business. I'll back you, financially, legally, whatever you need. But it will be yours. You'll build it. You'll run it. You'll succeed or fail on your own merit. The offer hangs in the air. She watches him process it. The temptation, the suspicion, the possibility. Why? He finally asks. Because you were right. His father's voice is rough. You needed to know who you were without all this. And now you do. So the question is, what are you going to do with that knowledge? And if I fail, then you fail. But at least you'll have tried something that was yours. He looks at her. She can see the question in his eyes. She squeezes his hand. Your choice. He turns back to his father. I need time to think about it. Take all the time you need. His father settles back against the pillows. Just don't take too long. I'd like to see what you build before I die. It's the closest thing to a blessing she's ever heard from him. They talk about it for weeks. Lying in bed, walking through the city, sitting on their couch with cheap takeout balanced on their knees. He's trying to control you, she says. Even when he's offering freedom, it's still on his terms. I know. But maybe that's okay. Maybe using his money to build something that's actually mine isn't the worst compromise. As long as it is actually yours. It will be. I'll make sure of it. She studies his face. You want to do this? I think I do. Yeah. Then do it. You're sure? I'm sure that you've spent 8 months proving you can survive without your family's money. You don't have to keep proving it forever. What about you? What about me? Will you come with me? If I do this? Help me build it? She looks around their small apartment, at the life they've carved out, at the independence they've fought for. Yeah, she says, I'll come with you. He pulls her close and holds on tight. 6 months later, they sign papers in a lawyer's office downtown. His father is there, still thin from the hospital stay, but stronger now. His mother is conspicuously absent. Jade comes, takes pictures on her phone, posts them with cryptic captions. The company is theirs, financed by his father, structured independently, focused on sustainable construction and affordable housing. The irony isn't lost on any of them. You're building houses for people who can't afford them, his father says as they're leaving. Yeah, that's not a particularly profitable model. Probably not, his father nods. Good. They start small. One project, one building. Renovating an old apartment complex and converting it to affordable units. She manages the books. He manages the construction. They work 16-hour days and collapse into bed exhausted. It's hard. It's also the most fulfilling thing either of them has ever done. A year in, they turn a small profit. 2 years in, they expand to a second building. 3 years in, They hire their first employees. His mother still doesn't speak to them, but his father visits the job sites occasionally, watches them work, nods approvingly at the progress. "You're doing good work," he says one day. "Thanks. Your mother will come around eventually." "I'm not holding my breath." His father smiles slightly. "Neither am I." They move into their own place, nothing fancy but bigger than the apartment, with room for an office and a spare bedroom. "For when Jade visits," he says. "For when we have kids," she counters. He goes still. "Are you—" "Not yet. But someday." He pulls her into his arms and she can feel him smiling against her hair. "Someday," he agrees. 4 years after he came home pretending to be poor, they host their first company dinner. Not at the estate. Not anywhere close to his family's world. At their house, with their team. The people they've hired, trained, worked beside. Jade comes. Brings a date who looks vaguely terrified. His father comes, sits in a corner and observes like he's watching a play. His mother doesn't come. Nobody's surprised. Late in the evening, after most people have left, his father pulls him aside. "I'm proud of you," he says quietly. It's the first time she's ever heard him say those words. His face does something complicated. "Yeah?" "Yes. You took the hard road. You proved yourself. You built something real." His father pauses. "That takes courage." "I had help." He looks at her across the room. She's talking to Jade, both of them laughing at something. His father follows his gaze. "Yes, you did." He's quiet for a moment. "I was wrong about her." "I know. She's stronger than I gave her credit for. She's stronger than both of us combined." His father nods slowly. "Maybe that's what you needed. Someone strong enough to walk away from everything and not look back." "Maybe." His father claps him once on the shoulder. Awkward, unfamiliar, but genuine. "Keep building. I'll keep watching." He leaves shortly after. She finds him on the back porch, looking out at the small yard they're slowly turning into a garden. "You okay?" she asks. "Yeah." He pulls her against him. "More than okay. Your dad seemed happy." "He did, didn't he?" He's quiet for a moment. "I think this might actually work." "The company?" "All of it. The company. Us. This life." She leans her head against his shoulder. "It already is working." "Yeah." He kisses the top of her head. "It really is." 5 years in, his mother finally calls. Not him. Her. She stares at the phone for a long moment before answering. "Hello? I want to meet." His mother's voice is clipped, formal. "Just the two of us." "Why?" "Because it's time." "Time for what?" A pause, then, "Time for me to apologize." She almost drops the phone. She can't find words. "Tomorrow. That cafe on 5th Street. 1 o'clock. His mother hangs up before she can respond. She tells him that night. He's immediately suspicious. "It's a trap." "Maybe. She's going to try to manipulate you." "Probably. So don't go." She looks at him. "I have to go." "Why?" "Because—" She tries to find the right words. "Because I need to hear it. Even if it's fake, even if she doesn't mean it, I need to hear her say it." He doesn't look happy, but he nods. "Okay, but I'm coming with you." She said just the two of us. "I'll wait outside." "But I'm not letting you face her alone." The cafe is upscale but not ostentatious. His mother is already there, sitting at a corner table, dressed simply for once. Slacks and a sweater, minimal jewelry. She looks older, tired. "You came," his mother says. "You asked. Sit, please." She sits, keeps her purse in her lap, ready to leave at any moment. His mother orders tea for both of them. They wait in silence until it arrives. I was terrible to you, his mother says without preamble. For 3 years, I was cruel and dismissive, and I treated you like you were beneath us. She pauses. I'm sorry. The words are stiff, uncomfortable, but they sound genuine. Why now? She asks. Because my husband nearly died, and it made me think about what matters, about what I've lost by being so. His mother stops. So focused on control. You thought I was using him. I did. I was wrong. His mother's hands wrap around her teacup. I see that now. I see how you've supported him. How you've stood by him even when it would have been easier to leave. How you've built something together that's real. She doesn't speak. Can't. I also see that I underestimated you. Your strength. Your integrity. His mother looks at her directly. You're a better woman than I am. I don't know about that. I do. His mother's mouth twists. My son chose well, even if it took me 5 years to see it. They sit in silence, sipping tea neither of them wants. I don't forgive you, she says quietly. Not yet. I don't expect you to. But maybe, someday. If you mean this, I do. His mother sets down her cup. I know I can't undo the damage, but I'd like to try. If you'll let me. She thinks about the slap, the accusations, the lawyer with the envelope full of money. She thinks about the 6 months alone in that house. She thinks about the woman sitting across from her now, imperfect, prideful, but trying. Okay, she says, we can try. His mother's expression doesn't change much, but something in her eyes softens. Thank you. They finish their tea, make awkward small talk. His mother asks about the business, about their house, about their plans. It's stilted, careful, but it's a start. When they part ways outside the cafe, his mother hesitates. Tell my son. She stops. Tell him I'd like to see him. When he's ready. I'll tell him. His mother nods once and walks away. He's waiting by the car, tension written in every line of his body. Well? She apologized. His eyes widen. She what? Apologized. To me, for how she treated me. Did she mean it? I think so. Maybe. She leans against the car. She wants to see you. I don't know if I'm ready for that. She knows. She said when you're ready. He processes this, jaw working. Did she seem different? Older. Tired. Human, maybe. He's quiet for a long time. Then, I'm glad she apologized to you. You deserved that. Yeah, I did. They drive home in silence. He calls his mother a month later. They meet for dinner, just the two of them. She doesn't go. He comes home 3 hours later, face unreadable. How was it? She asks. Strange. Good. I don't know. He sits heavily on the couch. She's trying, really trying. It's weird. Good weird or bad weird? Just weird. He pulls her down beside him. But we're going to have dinner again next month. So, that's something. That's a lot of something. Yeah. She rests her head on his shoulder. Your family's healing. Slowly. Very slowly. Still counts. 6 years in, they break ground on their biggest project yet. An entire complex of affordable housing, 50 units, sustainable design. The press covers it. His father attends the ceremony. His mother sends flowers. Jade films the whole thing and posts it everywhere. Standing there with a shovel in his hands, surrounded by people who believe in what they're building, he looks happier than she's ever seen him. That night, in bed, he turns to her. I want to have a baby. She goes still. Now? Soon. When you're ready. But he touches her face. I want to build a family. A real one. With you. She thinks about the estate. The cold halls and colder people. She thinks about their house, small but warm, filled with laughter and arguments and real life. "Yeah," she says, "let's build a family." He kisses her, and they make love slowly, deliberately, with intention. 9 months later, they have a daughter. They name her for no one. She's entirely hers. Entirely theirs. His mother cries when she meets her granddaughter. His father holds her with shaking hands and tells her she's perfect. Jade takes 1,000 pictures and declares herself the best aunt in history. They bring her home to their small house with the growing garden and the office full of blueprints and the life they built from nothing. She's perfect. 8 years after he came home pretending to be poor, they host Thanksgiving. Their house is full. Jade and her partner, his father, his mother, 3 employees who have nowhere else to go, their daughter toddling between people's legs. It's chaotic. Loud. Nothing like the formal dinners at the estate. It's perfect. His mother corners her in the kitchen while she's checking the turkey. "I never thanked you," his mother says quietly. "For what?" "For loving my son enough to let him figure out who he was. For not giving up when he left. For standing by him when I told you to leave." She pauses. "For being stronger than I ever was." She looks at this woman who made her life hell for 3 years, who spent the last 5 trying to make amends. "You're welcome," she says. His mother squeezes her shoulder once, then returns to the living room. She stands alone in the kitchen, surrounded by the smell of roasting turkey and pumpkin pie, and lets herself feel it, the weight of everything they've survived, everything they've built. He finds her there a moment later, wraps his arms around her from behind. "You okay?" he asks. "Yeah." She turns in his arms. "More than okay." "Good." He kisses her softly. "Because I love you, and I love this life, and I wouldn't change a single thing. Not even the 6 months of sleeping on the street? Not even that." She laughs, kisses him back. "You're insane." "Probably." He grins. "But I'm happy." "Me too." Their daughter toddles in, reaches up for them. He scoops her up, and the 3 of them stand there in the kitchen. Small family, built from nothing, worth everything. Outside, the guests are laughing. Inside, the turkey is almost ready. Above them, in the small room that used to be storage, are blueprints for their next project. Tomorrow, they'll go back to work, back to building, back to the life they chose. But tonight, they're here, together, happy, and that's enough. 10 years after he came home, pretending to be poor, they attend the dedication ceremony for their 100th affordable housing unit. The mayor is there, the press, his father, who funded most of it, his mother, who's become their biggest advocate. But what matters most is the families moving in, the people who wouldn't have housing without them. He gives a speech, short, simple, honest. 10 years ago, I left everything behind to understand what it meant to struggle. What I learned is that everyone deserves dignity. Everyone deserves a home. Everyone deserves a chance to build something real. He looks at her. And everyone deserves someone who believes in them enough to take the hard road together. The crowd applauds. She stands beside him, holding their daughter's hand, pregnant with their 2nd child, and thinks about how far they've come. From the estate, to the apartment, to here. From strangers to lovers, to partners, to family. From pretending to be poor, to understanding what poverty really means to building something that matters. Afterwards, a young woman approaches them, early 20s, eyes uncertain. "I just wanted to say thank you," she says, "for what you're doing. I'm moving into Unit 43 next week, with my son. And this..." She stops, tears forming. "This is going to change our lives." He takes her hand. "That's why we do it." The woman leaves, and they stand there watching the families explore their new homes. "We did good," she says quietly. "We did." "Want to do more?" He grins. "Always." They walk toward their car, daughter between them, future growing inside her. Behind them, the building stands, solid, real, theirs. Proof that choosing love over money wasn't naive. It was revolutionary. The phone rings late at night. She answers automatically, still half asleep. "It's your father," Jade says. Her voice is wrong, hollow. She's instantly awake. "What happened?" "He's gone. Heart gave out an hour ago. He went quietly." She looks at him beside her, still sleeping. Reaches out and shakes him gently. "Your dad," she whispers when he opens his eyes. "He's gone." She watches the information hit him. Watches his face go through a series of contractions. Shock, denial, grief. He takes the phone, talks to Jade for a few minutes. Hangs up. Then he breaks. She holds him while he cries, deep, wrenching sobs that shake his whole body. Holds him until the storm passes, and he's left empty and exhausted. "I thought I'd have more time," he says hoarsely. "I know. I wanted him to see more. The second building. Our son when he's born. I know." He pulls back, wipes his face. "I need to go there. To the house. Help with arrangements. We'll go together." "You don't have to. We go together. Always." He nods, pulls her close again. They lie like that until dawn. The funeral is massive. Hundreds of people. Business associates, politicians, society figures who never knew his father but show up anyway. The service is at the estate, in the gardens his father loved. His mother stands rigid at the front, face carved from stone. Jade stands beside her, openly crying. He gives the eulogy, talks about his father's strength, his vision, his dedication to the company. Then he talks about the last 10 years, about his father's support, his willingness to change, his pride in what they built. "My father and I didn't always see eye to eye," he says. "We fought, we disagreed. We went months without speaking. But in the end, he gave me the greatest gift a father can give a son, the freedom to become myself." His voice breaks on the last word. She watches from her seat, daughter asleep on her lap, and aches for him. After the service, people come through in an endless line, shaking hands, offering condolences, telling stories. His mother accepts it all with grace. When the last guest leaves, only family remains. His mother, Jade, him, her, their daughter. They stand in the garden where the ceremony was held, surrounded by flowers and fading light. "He was proud of you," his mother says suddenly. "You know that, right?" He nods. Can't speak. "All those years you were away, he worried. But when you came back, when you started the company," his mother's voice softens. "He told me once that you'd finally become the man he always hoped you'd be. He never said that to me. He should have." His mother looks at her, at their daughter, at the curve of her belly. "But I'm saying it now. You're a good man, a good father, a good husband." She pauses. "Your father knew that, even if he didn't say it enough." They stand in silence as the sun sets. Then his mother straightens. "Well, there's work to do. Estate business, funeral expenses, the will." She looks at him. "You're the primary heir. The estate, the company holdings, everything." He goes still. "What?" "Your father's will. It's all yours. Except for provisions for Jade and me, of course. I don't want it." His mother's expression doesn't change. "Too bad. It's yours whether you want it or not. Give it to charity. Set up a foundation. I don't care. That's your decision to make." His mother turns toward the house. "But for tonight, let's just mourn. Business can wait." She walks away. Jade follows. They're left alone in the garden with their sleeping daughter. I can't run his company, he says quietly. I can't be that person. You don't have to be. You can sell it. Dissolve it. Turn it into something else. She takes his hand. But your mother's right. That's a decision for later. And now? Now we mourn. We remember. We let it hurt. He pulls her close, careful of their daughter between them, and stands there breathing in the smell of flowers and earth and endings. I'm glad I came home, he says into her hair, even with everything that happened after. I'm glad. Me too. Even though it was hard, especially because it was hard. They stay until full dark. Then they carry their sleeping daughter inside and spend the night in his old room, the first time they've slept in the estate in 10 years. In the morning, they'll go back to their house, their company, their life. But tonight, they're here, saying goodbye. The estate becomes a problem. His mother doesn't want it. Too many memories, she says. Too much house for one person. Jade certainly doesn't want it. He doesn't either. Sell it, he says at the lawyer's office. It's been in the family for 3 generations, the lawyer protests. Then it's time for it to go to someone who'll appreciate it. But before they can list it, she has an idea. What if we didn't sell it? She says one night. He looks up from the blueprints he's studying. What? The estate. What if we used it? For what? She's been thinking about this for weeks, turning it over in her mind. Housing. Not affordable units. A transition center. For families coming out of homelessness. Give them a place to live while they get back on their feet. Job training. Child care. Support services. He stares at her. You want to turn my family's estate into a homeless shelter? I want to turn it into something useful, something that helps people. She moves closer. Imagine it. All those empty rooms filled with families who need them. The gardens used by kids who've never had a yard to play in. The kitchen actually cooking for people who need food. He's quiet for a long time. Then he starts to smile. My mother would hate it. Your mother might surprise you. They present the idea to his mother the next week. She listens without interrupting. When they finish, she's quiet for a long moment. A transition center, she finally says. Yes. For homeless families. Yes. In the house where I raised my children. Yes. His mother stands, walks to the window, looks out at the gardens. They wait. My husband would have loved this, she says quietly. He would have said it was practical, efficient, good use of resources. She turns back to them. I think it's brilliant. He blinks. Really? Really? His mother's mouth quirks. Besides, I can think of no better use for that ridiculous house than giving it to people who actually need it. She pauses. Your father left it to you, so it's your decision. But if you're asking for my blessing, you have it. 6 months later, the Whitmore Family Transition Center opens. 20 families in residence, full support staff, programs for job training, financial literacy, child care. His mother cuts the ribbon. The press goes wild. The Whitmore family's evolution from luxury estate to community resource, one headline reads. Where billionaires' children once played, homeless families now find hope, says another. He ignores all of it, just focuses on the work, on making sure the families have what they need, on building programs that actually help, on creating a space where people can rebuild their lives with dignity. 2 years in, the center has housed and transitioned over 100 families. The success rate is unprecedented. His mother becomes the most unexpected advocate, using her society connections to fundraise, to bring in resources, to change minds about what charity actually looks like. Who knew your mom would become a social justice warrior? Jade jokes one day. Not me, he says, but he's smiling. Their son is born on a Tuesday morning in early spring. Fast labor, no complications. He arrives squalling and perfect and entirely himself. They name him after his grandfather. His mother cries when they tell her. He would have loved that, she says, holding her grandson for the first time. He would have loved to see all of this. What you've built. What you've become. I know. Do you? His mother looks at him. Do you know how proud he was? How proud I am? He goes still. His mother continues. I was wrong about so many things. About you. About her. About what mattered. She looks down at the baby in her arms. But you were right. About all of it. And I'm sorry it took me so long to see that. Mom, let me finish. His mother's voice is firm. You did something brave. You walked away from everything to find yourself. And you found something better than what you left behind. That takes courage. That takes strength. She pauses. That takes love. She watches this woman, this complicated, difficult, proud woman, hold her grandson with such tenderness it makes her chest ache. Thank you, she says quietly. His mother looks at her. For what? For trying, for changing, for, she stops, for becoming someone I can love. His mother's expression does something complicated. Then she nods once. Well, someone has to spoil these children properly. Might as well be me. They all laugh. Exhausted, emotional, real. 15 years after he came home pretending to be poor, they stand in front of their 5th major housing project. 200 units, mixed income, sustainable design, community center, green space. It's their biggest achievement yet. The ribbon cutting is massive. Local officials, community members, families moving in. He gives another speech. She watches from the crowd, their children beside her. Their daughter is 10 now, smart, fierce, kind. Their son is 5, all energy and questions and laughter. Your dad's pretty cool, someone says beside her. She turns. It's one of the first families they ever housed. The young woman from Unit 43, now 10 years older, with her son who's almost a teenager. He is, she agrees. You both are. The woman smiles. You changed our lives, you know. My son graduated top of his class last year. He's going to college next fall, full scholarship. Her eyes burn. That's amazing. It's because of you. Because you gave us a chance when no one else would. The woman's voice is thick. So thank you. For everything. She hugs this woman who she barely knows, but who represents everything they've fought for. You did the work, she says. We just opened the door. That's all anyone needs sometimes. An open door. When the ceremony ends, they walk through the building with their children, showing them where families will live, where kids will play, where community will grow. Is this what you do? Their daughter asks. You build houses? We build homes, he corrects. There's a difference. What's the difference? He looks at her. She smiles. A house is just a building, she says. A home is where love lives. Their daughter considers this. So you build love? We build the place where love can grow, he says. The families do the rest. Their daughter nods like this makes perfect sense. Can I help? When I'm older? If you want to. I want to. Their son tugs on her hand. Me too. They walk out together. Family, business, purpose, all wrapped into one. Behind them, the building stands waiting for the families who will transform it from structure to home. 20 years. 20 years since he came home in work boots and a coat too small. 20 years since she chose to stay. 20 years of building, fighting, loving, growing. They celebrate quietly, just the four of them. Dinner at home. Nothing fancy. His mother sends flowers with a note. To 20 more years of proving me wrong. Jade sends a bottle of expensive wine they'll never drink with a text. Still can't believe you made it work. Proud of you both. After the kids are in bed, they sit on their back porch. The same porch where they've had 1,000 conversations, made 1,000 decisions, shared 1,000 quiet moments. Do you ever regret it? She asks. Leaving? Never. Not even when things were hard? Especially not then. He takes her hand. The hard parts proved we could do it. That we were real. She leans against him. We built something good. We built something great. He kisses the top of her head. And we're not done yet. No? No. I want to expand. More buildings, more cities. More families helped. Always bigger. Always better. She smiles. Okay, let's do it. They sit in comfortable silence as the night grows darker around them. Inside, their children sleep in beds they'll never have to doubt. In a home they'll never have to leave. With parents who chose love over money and never regretted it. Outside, across the city, in buildings they designed and fought for and believed in, families are doing the same. Sleeping in homes they earned, building lives they own, proving that everyone deserves dignity. I love you, he says quietly. I love you too. 20 more years? 20 more years, she agrees. And then 20 after that. He laughs, pulls her closer. Above them, stars appear in the gaps between city lights, small points of brightness in the darkness, proving that even the smallest light matters. They've learned that lesson well, and they'll spend the rest of their lives teaching it to others. His mother passes away on a cold morning in February, peacefully in her sleep. She's 83. The funeral is smaller this time, more intimate. The people who come are those who actually knew her, not the society figures who showed up for his father, but the families from the transition center, the staff who worked with her, the people whose lives she touched in her final years. Jade gives the eulogy, talks about their mother's transformation, how she went from society matriarch to advocate for the homeless, how she spent her last years fundraising and volunteering and using her influence for good. She wasn't perfect, Jade says. She made mistakes, big ones, but she owned them. She changed, and in the end, she became someone I was proud to call my mother. He stands beside her at the front, holding their daughter's hand. Their son is on her other side. She watches him cry openly now. No shame, no hiding. 20 years of therapy and self-work and choosing vulnerability have taught him that. After the service, they scatter her ashes in the gardens of the estate, now the transition center's community gardens, tended by families learning to grow their own food. She would have liked this, their daughter says. She's 25 now, working in the family business, brilliant and passionate and so much like both of them, it's terrifying. Yeah, he agrees. She would have. Their son, now 20, takes pictures with the old camera his grandmother gave him. He's studying photography, planning to document their projects, to tell the stories of the families they help. Both children chose to continue the work. Not because they had to, but because they wanted to. That might be their greatest achievement. 25 years. Their company has housed over 10,000 families. They've expanded to 12 cities. The transition center has become a model replicated across the country. They're not rich, not like his family was, but they're comfortable. They own their home. Their kids graduated college debt-free. They take vacations, support causes they believe in, live well. More importantly, they're happy. She wakes up next to him every morning and feels grateful. He comes home from work every night and kisses her like he means it. They still argue, still struggle, still have hard days, but they chose each other every day for 25 years. And they'll choose each other every day after. On their 30th anniversary, they return to the estate, not to visit, to work. There's a new expansion project, converting the old West Wing into emergency housing for families in crisis. They spend the day touring the space with their team, making plans, taking measurements. At the end of the day, they find themselves alone in the foyer where he first stood in that coat too small and boots that left marks on the marble. "You remember?" he asks. "Every detail." "What you were thinking?" She considers. "I was thinking you looked different, changed, and I was terrified because I didn't know what that meant for us. And now? Now I know that change is good, that becoming yourself is the bravest thing you can do." She takes his hand. "And I'm grateful you had the courage to do it." He pulls her close. "I'm grateful you stayed. Where else would I go? Anywhere. You could have gone anywhere. But I chose here. I chose you. Best decision of my life," he says. "Which one? Coming home or marrying me?" "Both. Simultaneously. Forever." She laughs, kisses him. They stand in the foyer where it all began and feel the weight of everything they've built. Not just the buildings, but the life, the love, the purpose. Outside, families are moving into the transition center. Inside, plans are being made for new expansions. Above them, their children are carrying on the work. The legacy isn't the estate or the company or the money. The legacy is this: the choice to see people's humanity, to use privilege for good, to build something that lasts beyond themselves. He came home pretending to be poor to understand what most people face. What he learned changed everything. Not just for him. For thousands of families who now have homes because he chose to understand instead of judge. Who have hope because he chose to act instead of ignore. That's the real story. Not the billionaire who pretended to be poor, but the man who learned what poverty really meant and spent the rest of his life fighting it. They walk out of the estate together. Behind them, the building hums with life. Families cooking dinner, children doing homework, hope growing in spaces that once held only expensive emptiness. Ahead of them, more work waits, more families to help, more buildings to create, more love to spread through the simple act of giving people dignity. She leans against him as they walk to their car. "Ready to go home?" He squeezes her hand. "Always." They drive away from the estate for the last time, but they're not leaving it behind. They're carrying it forward, transformed, purposeful, alive. Just like they transform themselves, just like they'll continue transforming the world, one family at a time, together. If you enjoyed this story, subscribe to Mr. Douglas Tales, where powerful stories unfold one moment at a time.